orientation, so it was horizontal. You need, so this was the thing that was the mistake. You need to add it here, and then you can see these are the radio buttons that you can select. So this is an example of single radio buttons, radio button 1 and 2, and this is radio button inside radio group male and female. Either you can choose. So always we should use a radio group while you have one more option. Suppose that you're asking the user to select, you know, the option from 2 options. He or she needs to choose only one option. At that time, we can go with the radio group. And when you click on display selected, you will see female. If you just click on male, we created a method on this button, so it's showing you male. So that's the method. On click button view, if selected ID is equal to radio group get checked radio button ID, radio or gender radio button disk, that's radio button find view by ID selected ID. So if selected ID is equals to -1, that it has show this, nothing selected. Then if it's make text, otherwise it has to show what is selected. So you can see if you want to change the constant factors, you can make it as long also to have the output for at least 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Try to do it and make sure that here Android orientation is vertical. Try to go through it now. Michael and Lubna, she's on iPhone. Michael, are you done? Carlos, or you want to try it?
I already did it.
You did it? Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So that was the project, or that was the demonstration of, you know, how to add the single radio buttons and how we can add the radio buttons with the help of a radio group. Clear? All the things are clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And now next thing is dynamic radio buttons. Android dynamic radio button. So instead of creating radio button through drag and drop from the option that we do have, Android is going to also provide you to create, you know, the buttons or whatever. So there are 2 ways that I have told you. You can even drag and drop the buttons from here. If you go in this way, so buttons are here. You can see radio group, toggle button. So this is just the graphical way of adding buttons in your application. So this is your application. So this is the graphical way. Even if you have to add the text, for example, the password field you have to add, you can drag and drop it in this way. It's gonna come here, all right? So when you will see it in the application, it will be displayed for you. You can see here, this is the field or password. Got it? That's how do we add the the graphical things, or how do we add these, this is called as plate. How do we add the text buttons or text fields, password fields in a graphical way in the Android application? So then after that you can add, even if you have, suppose even the text, suppose I'm going to just drag it down a bit. but it will still come there. So what I will do is I'm gonna delete it. So I will have one text view here. And I can name it as, for example, password. And then after that, I will add the password field here. Oh, it's going up, so we can add only Control Z. Control Z. Text view. You can refresh it after that. There is a problem in, you can see the text view here. Oh, we don't need that, so we're gonna remove it for now. Our topic is, this is just the graphical way how you can add. So as I've told you, as we were doing it through, through using the programs, through using the code, for creating, that's called as dynamic. So for creating dynamic radio button, we need to use Android view group layout parameters library. So I'm gonna write it here. So to create dynamic radio buttons, we need to use the library called android.view.layout parameters, or you can say parameters. So this is the library if you have to add the radio buttons dynamically in an Android application. So we have to go through this library, which is going to basically, it doesn't do anything, or it does a lot, but in a basic way I can say that it doesn't do anything, but it is going to configure, so which configures the width and height of vivs and implements set on checked change listener method. This is the method which we are using in order to dynamically add a radio button. So it's going to allow us to configure the width and height of the vivs and implement the method this of radio group. GROUP group class. So that's it. Now example of dynamic radio button. This was a theoretical overview. Now we'll go with the example of dynamic radio button. So we will close this project at this time. We are done with this. We'll create a new project, MPT activity, and we'll name it as dynamic radio button, or you can say Android dynamic radio button application, and language is Java as always. We're going to finish it. We have the main activity here and the previous project, which is radio button. We're going to close it, disconnect it from the emulator also. So this is our main activity. This is our layout activity.main. And now in this particular time, in this particular demonstration, we are going to change the layout to relative layout. Rest of the things will be same. Oh my gosh, Control Z. If you are deleting it and not giving any space, you just need to delete it in this way. When you click layout, relative layout here, automatically it will change here. Then this attribute will be same from the X LMS Android. This tools, width, height, match parent. We have to add some attributes here before we go ahead. So in the relative layout, some attributes are Android. After match parent, have width and height, we have to use padding button. So padding button is at the rate DIMEN diamond activity vertical margin. Android padding ANDROD Android padding left is gonna be at the rate daemon slash activity 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 horizontal margin. So these are all the properties which we have to define in. So padding, that's right, bottom, left, right. So that's at the rate daemon activity horizontal margin. So horizontal margin. And then top, so Android padding top is going to be at the rate DIMEN slash activity vertical and Android ID is equal to at the rate ID relative, wait a sec, and it's relative layout. This is the ID and then the main activity. So this is the information. So diamond activity vertical VRTI margin, then diamond activity horizontal HORI shadow NTAL margin, activity horizontal margin, and then diamond vertical margin. That's it. That's the main thing that we have to do here. So now we'll go to main Java file. Over here, we need to import android.os.bundle is there. WID widget is radio group or radio button first of all, and then import already it's there. So import android.widget radio group and import android.widget widget dot relative layout. I guess these are all included. And then you need to, that was the thing which is inside parameters. So we have to import Android dot widget widg relative layout dot layout parameters. That's the main thing. And also we're going to import the toast Android dot widget dot toast. That's it. So these are the things that we need to include over here, and then we will move ahead. We'll define the variables with the help of first of all radio group, and it's RG radio group short. Then relative layout, RELAT relative layout, it's RL. All right, and then radio button, and it's going to be RB1 first and RB2. Then after that, we are going to define the main information. So RG is equal to, which is radio group, is equal to new radio group Android ledger, and it's going to be this is an attribute. And then after that, RL, which is relative layout, will be equal to relative layout find view by ID. It's r.id dot relative layout. Then radio button first equals to new. We're creating these ourselves. So this is, we're not adding it over there. We are adding it here basically in the Java. That's dynamic. Okay. So that's how do we dynamically creating. So R1 radio button. Sorry. We are adding, or we are creating the radio buttons here in the Java file, and that's the way how do we dynamically add the radio buttons. This. All right, so then after that, radio button 2 RB2, which is equal to new now radio button. So that's creating the radio buttons dynamically. Now, after that, we are going to define RB1 dot set text set text. So for example, mail, and then RB2 dot set text character sequence text, and it's going to be female. So make sure that it's in quotes. Male, female, and then after that, RG dot add view. We have to add the view with RB1. This is how do we add the view. So RG dot, you can see here RB1 dot set text, we're going to send mail. So this is the view. So RJ, which is radio group, so we have to insert this variable RG. So RB1, RB2, we have mail. So here now when we edit, what we have to do is we have to add RB1 and RB2 in the view. In the same way, register this radio group dot add view. So we have to give the variable name, which is RB2. And in RB1 and RB2, we have male and female. All right. And then RJ dot set orientation is very important. What's the orientation that you want to set? So set orientation of the page as So radio group, it's radio group dot horizontal. So horizontal is here. That's it. Then after that, we are going to use relative layout dot layout parameters. So I'm going to name it as parameters equal to new relative layout parameters, which is integer layout parameters dot wrap content, comma. These are giving attributes directly here. Then the variable, data type integer. Then again layout parameters, the parameters of layout dot again height and width, which is wrap content. And we are going to close it at the same time. And then we're going to set the parameters. So parameters dot left margin. Oh, what is the problem? Left margin is equal to 150 and parameters top margin. Parameters top margin is equal to 100. Then rg dot set layout parameters, which is here, and it's going to be parameters inside it. And then after that, rl dot, which is relative layout set, no, add view, that's rj. And at last, rj dot set on text change listener, which is the class here, new radio group dot unchecked listener. At override public void on checked. Oh, sorry, our radio override is there. So I'm gonna just add radio button, a variable name which is radio button equals to radio button. Find view by ID, and I will say checked ID. That's it. And toast dot make text get application context, comma, a radio button dot get text, comma, toast Android widget dot length, short or long, depends upon you, or you can do it if you want length, suppose length long, you can use length long also, or dot show. That's it. So with this we are able to add, what's the error now? But here we are having the problems. MainActivity.java, there's no error. Let's check it out. Android resource links fail. Diamond activity. Oh, that's the way how you have to add it. Add the rate diamond dialog with vertical mirror. Let me check whether they are correct or not. Android padding left, right, and top. Android other right dining. That's horizontal minimum width major. Horizontal. This was vertical. Let's say Android diamond dialog with minimum and minor. Okay, but still we have some issues here. What's the issue now? Dot clause expected. What happened? Only 10 minutes. Oh, here is the problem. Relative layout parameters int layout parameters wrap content. dot class expected. Relative layout dot layout parameters. Android view group, is it, or it's something different? Which one? Let's check for this one first, and then parameters equals to new relative layout parameters integer, and then layout parameters dot wrap content, comma, integer, relative layout parameters wrap content, close it, and semicolon. What's it here? Let's try now the other one. Relative layout Android widget dot view group parameters equals to new relative layout Android parameters integer, layout comma there is a problem in this statement. What's the problem? Where is the issue?
My one works, sir.
US work?
Yeah. What's your issue? Sorry, I've been doing my one, that's why.
No, it's just I can understand. It's showing that there's a sentence error. I mean,
Relative layout params.
yeah, relative layout, new relative layer. There should be something expected. Dot class semicolon expected.
What line is that? 41.
Yeah,
Okay,
41.
hold on, make my way there.
Relative layout dot. So which one you choose here? The first one or second
Layout
one?
params.
No, no, no.
I
Layout.
did the first. I
This
just
one.
typed it out and it just did it for me. Called params.
So if we can directly type it out, layout parameters Paramus equals to new relative layout layout
Dot layout params.
paramus. Then integer is the data type, right?
There's another bracket, so just two brackets.
Here.
No. Remove the integer. So put the bracket.
Oh, okay. There are two brackets basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Integer.
Put integer inside that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the issue. Layout paramus. That was the issue. Paramus dot wrap content, then comma. Now there is only one, right? Integer.
Yep. And then layout params.
Layout paramus dot wrap
Dot wrap content.
That's it in semicolon. This was the error which was coming. Okay, now it's correct. Save it. Here I was putting only one.
It means it's this. It forced to stop. It forced stopped it.
Yeah. The problem is in this. Why it did it?
I didn't put the. So can you go to the?
You didn't put these things?
I didn't put them.
Yeah, there's no need of them, but so yeah, you can check male and female buttons. There's no need
Yeah,
of
that's how mine
putting
turned
them,
out.
so you can, yeah, you can do it in this way. These were just padding attributes to have the padding and all.
Yeah, because we don't even have the files called diamond files, the
Yeah,
diamond directory. So
we
I
don't
didn't
have
see a point in putting that.
Yeah, so not an issue. So that's how we can add dynamically. So dynamically means without adding radio buttons, the activity main XML, we can just add them in the Java or activity or MainActivity.java file using the variables and the methods that are inside. And basically it's inside Android widget relative layout parameters, which we have to use to create or add the dynamic radio buttons in an Android application. Here we have not added even a single thing, just we added everything over here, and when we run it out, you will get two radio buttons, male and female, which are given here. Radio buttons male and female. When you click over here, it's going to select and you will see female button. So male, you will see male toast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was about the dynamic radio buttons.
That was exhausting.
Yeah. So because if you run everything in Java, it becomes very exhausting. Who is in the class?
Yeah.
Only 4. Where is Hadil? Oh my God.
It gets worse at